Welcome back to the Shacknews Awards. We are going to be talking about the best multiplayer game of the year 2024. To be eligible for this category, you had to ship within our awards a consideration period, which is why something like the finals may have made it because it came out in late December last year. But yeah, all you have to be is a video game that shipped this year that features online multiplayer of some kind, or even couch multiplayer. So with that, it's kind of a very wide open category, and you'll notice that with the nominees this year. So let's get these nominees out the door, and we'll talk about them, and then we'll vote. Warhammer 40K, Space Marine 2, Tekken 8, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, EA Sports College Football 25, The Finals, and last but not least, Marvel Rivals. Greg, you absolutely love 40K. You want to talk about it a little?
Yeah, I mean, I sound like a broken record, but like everyone on staff, when we talk about how the gameplay feels very mid 2000s, like 2006, 2007, like peak Halo. And I guess a lot of the people who made the online were involved in Halo's original design process. And no big names, just people who worked on it, which is interesting. And it totally shows in the multiplayer online. You know, there's ammo pickups, there's jetpacks. It's very slow. It's kind of strategical gameplay in terms of like how the map is designed. The maps are almost like a square rather than like a rectangle. So like they're very key points of interest, conflict points. You can flank easily. Multiple different classes that involve movement or damage or speed, whatever you have. And it's it's such a throwback to like the Halo 2 days of that kind of gameplay where it's slower. You are a Marine. You handle like a 500-pound gorilla, but it's still super fun. And like, of course, like I said, jetpacks. Like, who doesn't love jetpacks? And melee too. Like, there's just all these combinations that come in perfectly. I play.
I'm gonna stop you because you're talking about the game, but not the multiplayer. How is the co-op and like how is jumping in and out of co-op? How's the PvP?
Oh, the PvP. No, that's what I was talking about. I'm talking about the PvP. Yeah.
No, you're talking about just the game in general, like.
No, the online. No, the online too. This is the online multiplayer mode specifically because I play Domination. But like but there also is the co-op aspect of it, and that's been pretty flawless. You come in, you can do missions together. There's varying levels of missions together. Very awesome. Very horde mode in Gears. Like that's literally what it feels like. Yeah.
That's why I brought it up, Greg. I wanted to make that point because I think in this category it's important to note that they shipped a very good co-op mode that's like thoughtful and fun and actually scales up the difficulty. And they also shipped like a PvP mode, which, you know, was never really the most popular feature in even Gears. How does the PvP work? Is it like Warzone where you have like one life, or do you respawn?
You respawn, but it takes a few seconds to respawn.
So it's like a deathmatch.
Yeah, so it is a deathmatch, and they have team deathmatch and they have domination. I play domination. They have team deathmatch and domination. It's just in there. Super fun. Like it's like you said, it's rare that a game comes out that has both co-op competitive play and PvP competitive play, and it does both. I think they're adding an endless wave mode if they haven't already. That's on their roadmap, so that's coming too. Like they're updating it with like new cosmetics, and the cosmetics are actually kind of cool. Like for the Space Marine, you can pick your different chapter, you can pick how you want to look in your different class of different loadouts because there's multiple Space Marine chapters. There's the Blood Angels. There's the Crusaders. Of course, like the Blue Ultramarines, a lot of different chapters. Super, super fun. It's a lot of fun. If you haven't played it yet, I highly recommend it. You're going to have a lot of Gears and Halo 2 vibes from it.
I'm not sure the Halo 2 vibes are landing with me, but I definitely feel the Gears influences in this. I think like just in general, like what you're talking about, like the arena style of the maps, like all that kind of harkens back even before Halo to like Quake or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good to hear that we got a good Space Marine game in the year 2024. I think it's a very good nomination. This next one's kind of different though. Tekken 8, TJ, I don't know if you could, I know you reviewed it for us. Could you speak to the multiplayer experience in it?
Tekken 8 maybe has the most player-friendly multiplayer experience I've seen in a fighting game. They did fully pull from Capcom's Battle Hub with Street Fighter 6 and make it like a communal place where players can just show up and throw down with each other in either ranked or casual matches. But I think some of the things that set it apart are the fact that like you can actually do like online training easily in Tekken 8, and I think it was the first one to set up for that. Street Fighter 6 eventually added that in, but Tekken 8 had it first. And being able to like train with somebody, like set the parameters and try out combos and stuff like that is an extremely cool thing that we don't often see in fighting games, even at this point. I also think that like just getting into a match with somebody, the one thing that I think they haven't nailed down, and I think that like just must be an issue with everybody at some point or another, is private lobbies are kind of hard to get somebody into if they're not already on your friends list. So it's like an extra step where you have to go into the lobby, become friends with them, and then you can start setting up a private lobby. But outside of that, like this game was made to like invite new players in and make it as easy as possible to like understand why Tekken is so fun and why it's so beloved. And I think they did an amazing job of like of like making these sort of ease of access features to get more players into what's kind of otherwise a hard fighting game to latch onto.
I just realized I should be asking this question of every nominee. Greg, is Warhammer 40K Space Marine, does it feature crossplay multiplayer?
It does, but only on the PvP side, they keep it console for balance reasons.
Sure.
But yeah,
TJ.
the co-op. Oh, sorry, the co-op is crossplay. Yeah, PC, console, and there's cross progression.
Cool. TJ, is Tekken 8 crossplay?
It is fully
Okay.
across every multiplayer feature.
I feel like that's an important thing to mention in this category, and it probably will differentiate some of these nominees from other ones because it requires effort to do that. But I think when you build something with Unreal Engine, there is it's called Epic Online Services. It's like a free thing that Epic offers to game devs that allows for crossplay. So it's good to hear that both these studios were doing that.
And the last thing I'll say on Tekken 8 multiplayer is they did an amazing job with the rollback. They made it so like even on pretty shoddy connections or over long distance, the match will be pretty dang smooth for the most part, outside of extreme cases. And even then, like they added a feature where like if you don't want to get matched up with someone that has a bad connection, you can turn off low quality connections, or you can even turn off like if there's an option to play specifically with hardwired connections or Wi-Fi connections. And I think that's kind of a genius option to have for a lot of people that have serious issues with Wi-Fi.
Yeah, a fighting game, Wi-Fi, yeah, that's just latency hell. So, man, maybe Smash should take some notes from this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not that they will, but I think both solid nominations. Next up, COD Blop 6, Call of Duty Black Ops 6. We talked about this in several categories. They made a good Black Ops game. This obviously has the zombies mode, which is one of the more popular multiplayer things about this, but obviously it just has the good old-fashioned deathmatch and stuff. I don't know. Who wants to talk about the multiplayer aspect of COD?
Okay.
I'll mention COD.
Go for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's got full crossplay. So you can play between even PC and console if you would like. It's easy to get in and out of matches, of course. It's easy to team up with friends. I had no problems with that. I had no issues of like people getting booted or anything like that. So it was very smooth. One of the best multiplayer features, like, yes, it is Black Ops 6, but it is also Call of Duty. Like, you kind of know what you're getting from a gameplay perspective. What I liked this time around is that there were lots of unique events that were happening around the multiplayer that allowed you to kind of play what you wanted to. I found myself not really wanting to play. They're not big maps by the standard of like a Battlefield or a Delta Force, but like I didn't want to play bigger COD maps. I liked playing things like Nuketown. There was another map that takes place literally in like the top floor of like an apartment building, essentially. So it's like it's an apartment. And those are like maximum chaos, but you're always in the action and they go by really quickly. And they had playlists that sort of like allowed you to choose what experience you wanted. You can filter out game modes when you're choosing what to play. So if you only want to play deathmatch across any map, you can do that. If you only want to play hardpoint, you can do that. And yeah, there's tons of options for it. It's easy to get in and out of, so it's got all the bells and whistles that you're hoping for in a multiplayer shooter.
Are the crashes mitigated now? Because that was pretty rough for the first few weeks.
Was I having crash issues?
No, but
You were
almost
with
everyone on the
campaign.
internet was.
I was having crash issues with the single player. I never had any crashes with the multiplayer.
Yeah, I haven't
Okay.
had any crashes on the Xbox as
No.
of yet.
The
Okay.
single player, so the Call of Duty app itself or whatever. So like when you install Call of Duty on Steam, you then open it and then
It's like a
you
launcher, right?
Yeah, basically.
Mhm.
That was crashing every time I tried to load into the single player, but it never once gave me a
Okay.
problem with multiplayer.
Okay. No, I just
Which
I
is-
remember.
Priority straight for them, right? Like if you're gonna have part of your game broken, probably make it the single player and like the multiplayer should work because that's all that most people are looking for anyway. So
Mhm.
I did play zombies as well. Again, easy to get in and out of, match made with people, but you know, I'm not a big zombies fan. So from the multiplayer perspective, of like, this is fun. Like, I don't really care about zombies.
I don't think zombies is fun with randoms, but if you get a group of friends playing zombies, it's usually pretty fun.
It is.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's everything that you ever do in online gaming is probably better with people you know,
Mhm.
versus people you don't. But like, it wasn't something that I wasn't even interested in. Like, hey, Dusty, let's go play zombies. Like, I didn't care.
No, but what
Um,
I'm saying is like there's groups of friends that like that's all they play
Mhm.
COD for every
Yeah.
every year is like
It's a lot of
just
my
the zom-
friends at this
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's a huge
it is a
part of the
competent
multiplayer.
multiplayer.
It's
Mhm.
a huge part of the multiplayer experience for the game is all I'm saying. And
Yeah,
it's
it is.
I kind of brought it up in the same light as I did with Greg. Like, you get two kinds of multiplayer with COD. You're getting this like PVE co-op zombies, and then you get good old fashioned shooting your friends in the head.
And I know it's not.
deathmatch.
This is more of like a sort of like this compliment is stuck to multiplayer, but it's not really like the actual multiplayer experience. But I do appreciate the battle pass, in that you can unlock whatever you want whenever you want. So when you level up the battle pass, instead of it saying, okay, you unlocked rank 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you get tokens that you can spend on what you would like. So if you see something on the battle pass at like rank 15, you know, you can get that at rank 1 if you want. You know, there's a few little hoops that you have to jump through to sort of unlock some of the later stuff, so you can't just unlock the best gear. But it is neat that you can sort of like customize your own battle pass that way. I like that too. So
Yeah, I like that you can skip stuff that you're not interested in.
Mhm.
Because that's been a problem in a lot of battle passes. Rocket League was pretty bad about that. Moving on, EA Sports, College Football 25. Donovan, we played this multiplayer. We probably should be streaming this more than we have. But this multiplayer is pretty flawless. And I know you and your friend group, you guys have an online dynasty mode that's going.
We do, yeah, and it's pretty good, like online for a modern EA football game. We haven't really had issues getting into games together. They implemented crossplay in a similar fashion that they did with Madden and FC a couple of years ago now, where you can just kind of pull up like an EA menu and just invite people, regardless of what platform they're on. It's pretty easy. I have a buddy who's on PlayStation, and we play at least like once a week. He'll hit me up, and we're in a game with each other within minutes, despite being on opposite platforms. Yeah, I mean, every now and then you'll get like a weird server disconnect, but as far as like EA stuff goes, it's been pretty good for me.
It's funny though, Donovan, because you mentioned crossplay, and I didn't ask Bill. Bill, COD crossplay support,
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah, I mentioned it.
Yeah.
It's
Sorry.
full crossplay. So, and it actually shows you in your player list, like if people are on PC or console, just because people like me like to get super pissed off when I realize that there's only 2 people playing mouse and keyboard in the whole lobby and everybody else is getting their aim assist on. So
I mean,
I appreciate that they fuel my anger.
yeah, but yeah, Donovan, to your point, like the last college football game did not even crossplay didn't even exist back then, really.
no,
The idea of Xbox and PlayStation fans getting together, because like that was a huge deal every summer, right? Was picking the right platform so that all you and your friends could play
Yep.
Madden or college football together. And for them to ship this first installation of this new game and to have that from the jump, I think is a huge value.
Mhm. Yeah.
Just please port it to PC for the love of God. But yeah, it's great. I have not beaten Donovan once in that game, but I still enjoy it quite a bit. I don't think I've ever beat you in any football video game, Donovan.
No. We only, I mean, yeah, it's been either Madden or now college football.
One of these days.
Oh, you know, many
Problem was I didn't
matchups
get to play
come.
with. The problem is I didn't get to play with Michigan's roster last year. I had to play with this donkey
Yeah.
of a team,
Yeah.
who still beat Ohio State, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, EA Sports College Football 25 is great. Like I said, we should probably keep streaming it. I have a feeling that it's gonna be around for a while now. So I hope they continue to evolve the things. But for a first entry, very solid multiplayer experience. And you will not hear me talking about Madden this way, unless they do something good, which I guess they could.
Yes.
Sorry. I'm gonna do my best Sam Chandler impersonation here, mate. The finals, mate.
Good day, mate.
The finals.
Let's go ahead and clip that for Sam later.
Yeah, was that good enough? Sam really likes the finals. The finals is a very competent multiplayer game. It released out of early access kind of late last year, so it's eligible in this category this year. I think it was also nominated for Best FPS Game of the Year and some other Shacknews Awards here. It's also free to play. Got destructible environments. The only negative I have is that it's objective based, so
it's
not really my
3v3, so it encourages like a lot more teamwork in that sense. So there's it's got that going for it. It's one of those games you don't want to solo queue. It's one of those games that you want to have friends around because you gotta have builds that complement each other.
I think that's it's true of a lot of these games. I guess COD is the one where you can just kind of jump in.
It'll definitely be true of the next one that you get to, but yeah, that's
but yeah, I don't know. We don't have the number one fan of the finals here right now, so I did my best. But I'm sure Sam will feel bad that I didn't make as.
But it is a solid
game.
nominee.
It definitely deserves to be here. But yeah, it's still trucking. And then yeah, last but not least, we kind of waited to record these deliberations specifically for this game to release, and I think we made the right choice. Marvel Rivals is a third-person 6v6 hero shooter, similar to Overwatch, without role queue. This also features crossplay, right?
There is cross-play, but not cross-progression, which is interesting. So you pick your platform, you're on that platform, at least for now.
For what it's worth, they've said that that's coming. So it won't
Okay.
be like that forever. But Rivals is a lot of fun. It's honestly at this point the closest any hero shooter has gotten to emulating the Overwatch fervor of 2016. I think.
Yeah.
We're coming off. This is the day that they announced that it had 10 million players log in over the 72-hour launch weekend, which is pretty ridiculous. But it's a lot of fun. It's straightforward. Obviously based on one of the biggest IP in entertainment, so there's a lot of recognizable characters. I think they do a good job of making everyone feel like familiar enough, where like if you've played an Overwatch or a similar game, you can like compare a lot of the characters to pre-existing video games, but also feeling a bit like unique and kind of true to who those characters are. Even with, mainstay characters like Iron Man and Captain America, the fact that Iron Man can just fly around the map, there's no like weird ability cooldown. Like he just soars on jets and you can fly around just like he does in other media is really cool. Spider-Man swing around and whatnot. I think they've done a good job of making all those characters feel authentic to themselves, but also fitting in that like hero shooter mold.
I also like that like the finals, it does have destructible environments. So if you see like someone like Hawkeye or Black Widow trying to snipe you from a perch above, you destroy the perch and just bring them down. It's that simple. But there's also a component of it where like Galacta, the daughter of Galactus, is overseeing these matches, and if she sees that like a piece of the world is falling apart, she might go in and fix it so that you can eventually get that spot back later. So that's something cool to watch for, and that's something that's really cool that you see from moment to moment gameplay. But as far as multiplayer goes, the other interesting thing about this is specific characters will have team up abilities. If you pair two specific characters together, they can unlock special bonuses. So it's in your best interest to play with friends and be like, okay, you go this character, I'll go this character. We'll unlock their team up, and we'll get a leg up on the opposition. So that's something that's really cool about this game as well.
Yeah, it's different than anything we've seen in Overwatch too. So that's kind of a unique gameplay mechanic. And with all those characters, there's so many combinations of that, Ozzy. That's what's
and there's going to be more team ups down the road too, especially like as they add new characters and as they look at the existing roster and be like, wait, why doesn't this character interact with this character? So I'm really looking forward to the future of this game, and this is something that I could see being a best ongoing candidate next year.
Yeah, I think if they continue on the path that they're on, I wouldn't be surprised to see it there in that category. And to your point earlier, like I appreciate that the monetization of this game is not predatory and also not really affecting the balance of the game. Like they're not putting any characters behind paywalls. I think that's a huge deal.
I think Namor is the only character behind the paywall, right, Ozzy?
No, Namor is there.
Nope.
Oh, he is there. Okay.
Everybody's here.
Yeah,
It's still it is $18 for a skin. I mean that is, but I think that's pretty standard nowadays.
Yeah, but that's not something that's required to play the game. Like,
although I do want that skin. I want Mexican Namor.
Pay the $18 for the horse armor, man. Do you? But like,
it's great.
It's not. As long as it's optional and it doesn't affect the balance of the game, I don't think it matters because that's what funds these free to play games.
Yeah, like the money has to come from somewhere.
I'm okay with it. But I'm also not the person buying the cosmetics. I'm also not buying the tickets in Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket. Like if it's free to play, I'm playing it for free. And then occasionally, if there's a really cool skin, yeah, you can buy it, and it's a way to support the devs. But I'd rather that than them put characters behind paywalls or something.
Or abilities and that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Considering how many characters are also in this game right now, just from jump, a lot already balanced as is.
A worse game would make those team up abilities a microtransaction, Greg. You know what I mean? Like there's ways to ruin this game that they didn't, and I'm hopeful that Ozzy, I'm hopeful that you're right, that we'll be talking about this game a year from now as best ongoing game.
I mean, even Call of Duty puts weapons behind a paywall around the battle pass progression. So
yeah, we're not talking about COD here.
Where Marvel Rivals doesn't put heroes behind the paywall, or in the part of the battle pass.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, I think there's a lot of battle passes out there, but to Bill's point, at least you get to choose based on the currency that you earn. You don't have to just unlock things based on what level you are or whatever. But anyway, you guys ready to vote?
Yeah.
Start with you, David.
Oh, this is tough. I'm torn between two. I gotta say, I kept up with the chatter among my colleagues over the weekend regarding Marvel Rivals, since it sounds like a lot of fun. I still need to try it. I was playing another game for our deliberations over the weekend, but I'm gonna go with Marvel Rivals just because it sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, Donovan.
I'll go with Marvel Rivals as well. Yeah, I think some solid nominees here though, but that's probably the one that's hit me the hardest, I think.
I feel like there's something for everybody in this category. Like, there's really just all sorts of options here.
Fighting, shooters, sports, yeah.
Yeah. Danny.
I was torn between Taken 8, which has gotten plenty of time. But I actually had a lot of fun with Marvel Rivals this past weekend. And I also got to play with several friends at once that I haven't in a while. And came back together to give this game a try. Had a lot of fun. And so that's the whole point of multiplayer.
Yeah.
So it gets my vote.
Yeah, and it's cool to hear. Like, it's getting groups back together that, like, maybe you guys don't all play the same fighting game, but you all are down to play a random third-person shooter. Especially, like, no offense to people out there, but, like, I think the Marvel IP attracts casual gamers more than most other.
When you say hero shooter, you got literal heroes in this one.
Yeah.
Like it's part of the IP. action.
Yeah,
I can see the backpack.
that's a huge
that
deal.
I
That
bought.
it's not a first-person game.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this would not work as a first-person game. You wanna see Wolverine. You want to see Squirrel Girl, or I don't know, whoever else. Groot. Greg.
Yeah, I mean, I love Space Marine 2. I gotta show Space Marine 2 some love. I had a lot of fun with that. Yep, I'm a Space Marine 2.
Nice.
It's got co-op
TJ.
and competitive. It's got both, right? So pick your poison.
TJ.
I will go with Marvel Rivals. I love that game. It's probably the most fun I've had with a hero shooter in a long time. So
8 years.
yeah.
If we're going back to Overwatch. I don't know. Has there been a
Yep.
what was the Lawbreakers? We had Lawbreakers.
Wait, Lawbreakers. We had
Remember Battleborn?
Battleborn. You remember Battleborn?
God.
What was it? The Eternals. What was the one that got canceled? The Eternals.
The Amazing Eternals.
The
I have a
Amazing
bunch of
Eternals.
hats in my closet for that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
Ozzy.
You know, I keep saying when's Marvel, and I keep getting the answer in different genres every year, and now I've got it in a hero shooter. So Marvel Rivals.
Nice. Next year it's going to be an alarm clock.
All right.
Bill.
I have a question.
Sure.
What'd Sam vote for?
Oh, the finals.
Finals.
Did he?
Mate.
Okay.
Wait.
What?
Good day, mate.
The finals, mate.
Okay.
Remember my
Okay. Oh,
impassioned
sorry,
tweet?
mate. I thought you said wait, not mate. Okay, my
No,
apologies.
I was doing my sweet impersonation of Sam Chandler.
I'm gonna go with Warhammer. I was gonna if Sam didn't give the finals a some love, I was gonna do it for him, but since he did, I'm gonna vote Warhammer. We just watched a live eviction.
Seriously, Buffy's in trouble. Buffy was knocking over Cloud Strife again, and
She's just causing damage out there, and I bring her here. She's causing damage in here. She's just not stopping. So.
I feel you, Buffy. So yeah, we got Greg voting for Space Marine, Bill's voting for Space Marine, Sam voted for the finals. TJ, you voted for Rivals. Sorry, Steve. Sorry, I got
Steve's voting for Marvel Rivals as well.
even though it's not on Nintendo Switch right now.
I know.
I think this game might make the Switch cry. Maybe Switch.
Wait,
maybe it's better on Switch too.
Actually, I just want to throw it out here. None of these games are on Switch.
No.
Not one. That's a damning thing to say.
Look,
all-
I mean, I would put Mario Party in as an honorable mention, but it's not to say Switch didn't have good multiplayer games this year.
I'm saying that Switch didn't have many good multiplayer games this year, man. Like, I'm gonna just say it. Like, those are giant gaps.
And in fact, you did not mention that Nintendo World Championships is on our honorable mentions list for this category.
I think it's messed up that it's even on this list. It's the most asynchronous multiplayer game possible. Like, it's not.
But as a local multiplayer game, it's a lot of fun.
That's true, but like,
Yeah, local multiplayer matters.
it does until you're dealing with Marvel Rivals. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's nice. It's nice that Nintendo has local co-op or local multiplayer for things, but I don't know, Nintendo. Maybe fix your internet just one time, just once. Someone like cycle the power on the router in Kyoto or something. I don't know. Like, there's something they can do to make this less trash. It's kind of an indictment of their online that these are all awesome games and none of them are on Switch. Anyway,
They're a lot of them are pretty graphically intensive. At least Space Marine 2 is. We don't want a Witcher 3 situation again, right?
Microsoft signed a deal with Nintendo saying that they were going to bring COD to Switch or whatever the hell platform for 10 years, and then they didn't. Just another lie from Microsoft. Maybe next year we get something on Switch too. But yeah, I'm gonna vote for Marvel Rivals. I just think it's awesome. It's like it's one of those things where on paper you're like, oh yeah, that could work, and then they actually did it and they didn't screw it up. So it's nice to see, like, at least at launch, people seem to be really happy with it. So yeah, I don't think I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 people out of the 10 here have voted for Marvel Rivals. So we have a winner. Congratulations, NetEase Games, Marvel Studios, whoever else, Disney, Bob Iger. I don't know who else we should congratulate for this. Wolverine, right? Just congratulations to Logan. But yeah, you have won the Shacknews Award for the best multiplayer game of the year 2024.